planning a family trip to Italy and you're already trying to figure out where to stay in Tuscany, perhaps you already know that there's so many beautiful options right there. But the harsh truth is that your choice of your Tuscany home base can actually make or break your family vacation, because most of the families dream of slow meals and beautiful views, but they actually end up with long car rides, managing tired kids, and bored teenagers. Hi, I'm Vanya. I'm an Italy family travel specialist, and I have helped numerous families fix these common mistakes parents make when building their Tuscany itineraries. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 pitfalls family make when choosing where to stay in Tuscany. We'll show you how to exactly match the Tuscany sub-regions with your family's travel style, and we'll give you a very simple checklist so to make sure you spot the right location for your stress-free Italy family vacation. After planning numerous intentional family trips to Italy, I have seen how choosing the right Tuscany home base actually creates lasting family memories. On the contrary, if you choose the wrong one, you just import all the daily stress you were trying to escape from. But first, let me show you what happens if you book that perfect postcard villa in the wrong spot, because there is a specific property trap that looks amazing on social media but actually tricks you into wasting precious vacation time, especially if you want to experience the real Tuscany. And it's the #1 mistake that I actually see as an Italy family travel specialist with parents who are trying to research on their own where to stay in Tuscany. And I reveal how to exactly spot this trap in pitfall #2. And the first pitfall is perhaps also the most common one, and is the checklist chase, or the pressure to do it all and see all. And when you try to actually see Florence, Pisa, and Siena in just 5 days from the wrong base, you aren't seeing Tuscany, you're just traveling around Tuscany, because you spend most of your time moving between places, trying to have authentic experiences instead of actually having them. So my advice is to shrink your map to grow your experience, because the secret to a successful and stress-free Tuscany family trip is to choose 1 or maybe 2 Tuscany sub-regions and just settle in. For example, you can choose Chianti if you love vineyards, or if you want an easy access to Florence, or you can choose Val d'Orcia if you want those iconic rolling hills, or you can go to the Maremma if you want more of the beaten track Tuscany and beaches and ancient history. But by staying put, you trade the boring logistics and the stress for authentic discoveries. And pitfall #2 is choosing a too remote villa. And I know that everyone wants that isolated villa in the middle of nowhere with beautiful Tuscan countryside views. But if that villa is 25 minutes drive on windy countryside roads to the nearest grocery shop or restaurant, every single simple need becomes a dedicated task. So in this case, I always recommend to learn more about the surroundings of the villa, or simply book near a lively town like Pienza or San Quirico, because in this case you still get the countryside views plus cafe and shops and restaurants within 5 minutes drive. Or if you're very much into booking an isolated villa, my recommendation is to do it in safety mode. So always check the concierge services before booking it. So if they can arrange a pre-stock of the kitchen, or if they can arrange private chef, because these simple details in these services are actually those that make the difference between isolation and seamless Tuscany family vacation. If you want to skip hours of scouting and guesswork, and you want me to design a custom stress-free Italy family trip for you, then head to the description. I have put a link where you can apply to work directly with me. Now let's move on pitfall #3. And the last mistake on my list is picking a location based on the top 10 Tuscany list that you can read everywhere, instead of actually taking into consideration your unique family interests and logistics, because those properties may look good, but the question is, are they a good fit for your reality and for your itinerary? For example, if you're traveling with a toddler and you're looking at a gorgeous apartment in historic Italian building, this could become a nightmare, because most of these buildings do not have elevators, and bringing up and down the stroller every single day could become very, very stressful. Or if you still dream of that isolated villa, but you're traveling with a teenager, they can feel completely bored after 2 days, because there might not be anything to do within a walking distance. So these aren't just best locations. These are the 5 pillars of your family trip to Italy. To build a truly meaningful family vacation in Tuscany, your Tuscany itinerary must match your family's travel style. So here is my expert guide on how to pick the perfect sub-region for your group. If your family loves art and history, then the most obvious choice, and of course my recommendation, is to base yourself in Florence, Siena, or Lucca, because this will allow you to be just steps away from world-class art, medieval history, and local traditions without the logistical stress of a long commute. For hands-on families instead, I do recommend to book a farm stay, or the agriturismo in Italian, in Chianti or the Val d'Orcia regions. This is the best way to participate in farm-to-table Tuscany experiences like pasta making workshops or Pienzo Pecorino cheese tour and tastings, and of course try some of the most famous Tuscan wines. And if your family is looking for some beaches, then the choice is Forte dei Marmi in Versilia. It's flat, stroll friendly, and offers that iconic Italian beach culture for a much more relaxed Tuscany family vacation. And just to mention that it's also an amazing base to do a day trip to the amazing Cinque Terre and see the 5 fishermen villages on the Ligurian coast. And my final advice is to choose either one or combine 2 of these regions, but always keeping in mind your family's unique needs and daily rhythm, because this is the only way to make sure you're choosing the best place to stay in Tuscany. Everything I just told you about choosing your Tuscany home base is just the first step toward your stress-free family vacation, because even the perfect location is useless if you don't know how to navigate those roads, the regions, and Italy in general. Because of Italy's diverse landscapes and limited traffic zones, where you can easily get fines and sanctions, getting around Italy could be stressful and a minefield. So watch my video next right here to see my 3-part framework on how to get around Italy without the stress. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next one.